So Tom, in your profile I found something about dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
I would say we always do dialogue. What is your approach to dialogue? Why is it important for you, and how do you include it in your work? How do you offer it in seminars, trainings? What do you do with dialogue?
Well, basically, it goes back to my thinking about the company name, cogitamus, which means to think together. And I see a lot of fragmentation in our world. We have, if you go to universities, you have all the different faculties, and sometimes even within the faculties, people are so much specialized that they're not capable to talk to their colleagues, even in the same faculty. Not speaking about having conversations and speaking across different faculties, and then do that even in an international way. Mm-hmm. So to overcome this kind of fragmentation, I think dialogue is a good methodology to do that. I consider dialogue as a bridge over the valley of different aspects of different areas of knowledge, even between different departments in a company or different divisions of a corporation. Usually they're just working aside of each other, and there are not very many links between. And the dialogue could be the bridge between these different areas of work. And this is the major reason for this. And of course, on the other hand, I'm influenced by Martin Buber and his book I and You. And he describes in this book that dialogue can help you to discover yourself in the other. When you talk to somebody else and you're having a conversation, then that falls back to yourself, and by this you can discover much more about yourself if you have a deep dialogue. And that is, for me, a wonderful chance to know each other, or to get to know ourselves much better than before by having a conversation, a deep conversation with somebody else.
Dialogue? Describe it to me.
A deep dialogue, you leave alone or leave away all the stuff that is not so important. If you really talk about what really matters to you, what is really essential and really important, then you get to the point. What are your values? What do you care about? Why would you make a severe decision? What did change your life in a dramatic way? These aspects, what you really care about, they will be part of a deeper dialogue. And there will also be a quality that you don't always have to speak, but that equally important is the listening to others and to their perspective. And by really dealing with a different perspective and a different point of view, putting yourself in the shoes of the others, that can help you as a dialogue partner tremendously to understand yourself and the world as such, because you all of a sudden you discover there's more than I only thought and what I perceived so far. There are different aspects, and if you do that several times, even internationally with people from different cultures, different religions, with these different backgrounds, then you discover you can have a complete different view on the world. And usually what we see in our news, or what we read in our books, and what we see in our theater plays or so, influenced by our own culture, that is pretty much narrow-minded. And if we open that up with others, then we discover many more aspects of the world, and it becomes so much richer. And this is what I like in dialogue, and this is why I think that helps in the family, with friends, and also in companies, and in the cooperation between different departments and divisions.
How would you say functions deep listening? What is the magic behind deep listening?
You are ready to discover that there are other aspects than you thought they could be, or than you believe it is. And that means if you're really deeply listening, you have to be ready to be completely naked, or to be discovered as somebody who followed something that cannot be true, or that is just partly true, or that needs to be more relative and needs to be related to a certain situation, but there are other situations. If you're ready for this, to be completely insecure and to look like an idiot, for instance, then you're really listening deeply and you're trying to really understand what is the other position and what has that to do with my own position, and where do I have to make any corrections or to rethink my conviction.
How would you say is dialogue and transformation interlinked?
Basically, every transformation starts on the one hand with stillness, and on the other hand with having a deep dialogue. What is really important for us? If you want to transform something, and not only to cut costs or to put another structure on something, which is called re-engineering. If you really want to transform something, give a new shape to an organization and also to your mindset, to your corporate culture. This is what I think is transformation. If you really want to do this, you have to have many dialogues in the organization and with stakeholders outside of the organization, and ask yourself, what is our role in a labor sharing economy? What role do we have to play, and what can we do best, and how can we add value in that chain of different work that is done in a process? And this kind of discussion or this kind of dialogue is necessary in order to understand where you want to go, and therefore this is a precondition of a deep transformation, that you have a dialogue and that you listen to others. And sometimes in German we have created a new title of a training, which could be called entitled "Öfter mal die Fresse halten."
How would you translate it into English?
Shut up more often and just listen.
Yeah.
Listen to others, listen what they have to say. It's not always the most important what you want to say. Sometimes it's just good that you listen and that you really look through the phenomena and see what is in between, what is behind, and what is really important. And not only the fluff that you can see on TV or in newspapers or so. Just look through it and get a sense of what is really behind that. And that helps a lot if you just listen to others and get their ideas and connect them with your own.
I just read that you wrote a book, or you were part of an editing team of a book. Can you tell me about this project?
Yes, there is a group of people who are convinced that conventions and big meetings and so should be done in a different way. And so the name of that group is The Congress is Dancing. Der Kongress tanzt. And we had different meetings and we exchanged different ideas. Of very diverse people. There are journalists, there are consultants, there is a priest, there are different moderators, there are environmental activists. So very different and diverse people, and that is an asset for itself, to have these different perspectives and to have different aspects in a change, or we interchange that. And then after some while the idea was maybe we can just share with others what we think and how we want to approach these kind of meetings or these big events in a different way. And so we had to put some ideas together, and there was the editor, Michael Gleich. He collected all the different contributions and the pieces, and I said, when it came to me, what could be my contribution? I said, I'm not a good writer. I prefer to speak and to have a dialogue with people. And we decided to have a dialogue on dialogue. And basically that is the piece in that book. So I had a conversation with Michael about dialogue and what kind of role it could play in conventions or in meetings, and what we think dialogue is, both sides. And that is part of the book, besides many other articles. And now we're going to different companies and also to different event agencies and to share our ideas with them in order to have more life in conventions, and maybe even if we can dance, like you also dance with ideas in innovation management. This is what we want to see, and we want to have a little contribution to that.